So here's a Camaro update for you. I drilled the holes in the firewall. There's the Muncie Speedo hole. You can see it has a kind of a recessed area around it. So it's kind of hard to screw it up. There was a dimple in the center. I just drilled through it from this side. There's the hole for the oil pressure line. Just a grommet goes in there. That's the hole for the reverse lights. And again, there was a dimple there. There's two to choose from. I picked the one that looked more advantageous to me. And this over here, way up top, that is the Rally Sport vacuum hose grommet hole. Again, that was there was a dimple, and you really don't have a whole lot of latitude in this one. You know, the two holes for the fuse box, you can see there's a bolt hole right there at the top and bottom at a 45-degree angle. You got to kind of get it away from the brake master cylinder mount right there and away from that bolt hole. So you really don't have a whole lot of room to move it, and it's a 1-inch hole. So there is the old Speedo hole right there. They make a rubber plug that fits there, and I have one that fits it as well if the one I bought doesn't work. But I figure I'll just plug it with that, rather than have to weld the plate over it and grind it and paint it. Just fuck it. There's a hole right there, a smaller hole. I don't know what that's for. I don't know if somebody drilled it or if that's a hole for wiring. I think it might be the wiring for the convertible top power feed. I'll have to see. Looking at this, I believe this is the convertible top power feed. So yeah, that grommet will go in that hole. So I'm gonna say that's what that is. I can't remember already. So there you go. Those are all set. There was one other thing I wanted to showcase today because it was bugging me a little bit. Not a big deal. I was just trying to show how some of this stuff takes way longer than it should, even when you're buying brand new reproduction parts. So the Rally Sport hose grommet, this is it right here. This has got two holes in it for hoses, and they come this size, which is very small. And the hoses don't fit. I mean, you can put them in, but it balloons out the slit. I'll show you. You slide the hose through the grommet hole, and look at the gap you got there. Now I know they want a tight fit, so you don't have air leaks and water leaks, but I mean, that's a lot to crush. You know, this grommet is a tight fit in the hole in the firewall to begin with, so you're fighting against this hose too. It's gonna be a real bitch to install this thing. I mean, you could put the grommet in first and feed the hoses through, but again, you gotta push it. You gotta lube it up and push it. It's probably gonna push the grommet out. And I didn't want to do that, so I took just a little die grinder here in my air chuck, and I opened it up to this size, and I'll show you what that looks like. You know, there it is starting in the hole, and I don't want anybody to think it's crazy loose, but I'll show you. It's as it goes in. I mean, you can slide it in pretty easily now, and you have a slight gap. It's more like a 16th or a 32nd gap, but when you push it together, you know, the hose doesn't really want to move. As usual, I have a tripod on me, so I got to do this one-handed, but all right, it's locked up in my vise. So you can see that the slit is very small. You can squeeze it together and it goes away. And when you squeeze it together, it's locked on pretty tight. When you let go of it, it slides much easier. You know, you can get it on and off far easier than as it came from the manufacturer. And again, once you crush it together, it will move. It doesn't move very easily. You know, look, I mean, the hose is moving. So to me, that is the more desired fit. A little bit of a gap, so it'll crush together, but not so much that you're constricting the hose or you're fighting against the firewall hole. So I'm going to do that to the other hole, and we'll call it done. I mean, you can look at these things and see the difference. I'll get a drill just for the hell of it to see what the difference is. Let's find out. Okay. Measuring with my sophisticated measuring equipment. The smaller hole is 5/16. The larger hole is 23/64. That's only 3 sizes different. But I mean, looking at it, looks like, you know, all the room in the world. So I will grind out this lower hole. Look, now it's the upper hole. I'll grind out this other hole. Sometimes I just say things to make myself laugh. And life will be grand. You know, this is a very tedious bit of minutia I'm showing you. But if a guy putting a Rally Sport together buys this grommet, goes to put it in, and then he goes to put the hoses in, and he's, you know, banging his head against the wall, he could benefit from this video to say, hey bro, I don't know what the stock grommet looks like. This is a reproduction. Maybe they make them too small by accident. Maybe it's supposed to be this tight. I don't know. Maybe these hoses are too big. In a minute, I'll take a vernier caliper to the hose and see what size that is, just to to prove that out, but you know, this could help somebody to say, well, fuck, I know I gotta open this thing up before I even start screwing with it. So there you go. Just forearmed is forewarned and all that shit. Maybe I shouldn't expect so much, but it was a $90 hose kit. I guess I got hosed. Ha ha ha. Sorry. It's hard to get a good measurement on a rubber hose because they're so malleable, but it's like 362, 363. So regardless, the little hole was 5/16. 5/16 is 312. So right off the bat, you have a 40, 50 thousandths interference fit. So I don't know what they were trying for here. Maybe, and this is just a guess, this is the difference between American-made hose and an offshore-made grommet, or vice versa. I really don't know. As far as the hoses go, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that this is the proper hose for that hole, because you look at the kit, you got a shitload of hoses. You got this black one that's a couple of black ones. Well, actually, I take that back. You got a black one that's skinny. You got a black with a red stripe that's skinny. You got all these fat guys in here. You know, here's another small red one. Red with a black with a red stripe, rather. Green. But they're all about the same size. And then you got these humongous ones. There's no way those are going to fit. So if you look at the instructions, where are you? Look at the instructions. It shows the grommet and the firewall. And it shows a, let's see, there's the light switch, there's the grommet right there. And it shows a black hose, and then it says red. There is no red hose, so I'm assuming they mean black with a red tracer, which is this one, which is also this one, but they're both the same size. So I'm assuming that is the correct hose, the black one and the red one. And those, again, are the smallest hoses in the kit. So I'm going to go with those are the hoses. And one last thing, I was just remarking this morning, I use the shit out of a vernier caliper. So if you don't have one and you're a car guy, I recommend getting one. You don't have to spend $1 million on one, but you know, this is a Mitutoyo. Mitutoyo, this is like $80 on Amazon. It's got repeatability. It's a very nicely built tool. Mitutoyo is a good name. If you can get a Starrett, or you can get, I'm trying to think who else they make, a Brown and Sharp. You know, get a good name one. You want repeatability, and you want it to be reliable, not a piece of shit. You know, don't get a plastic one at Harbor Freight or, you know, Napa. I mean, you know, you do whatever you want, but get yourself a good tool, huh? $80 you spend on it, and it's going to last you 15 years, you know, as long as you don't drop it all the time. So my little piece of advice for today. So, all right, that was a very short video, but, you know, not everyone can be a winner. So hope your projects are going great, blah, blah, blah. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. And if I don't talk to you guys before, what's today? Today's Monday. Before Wednesday, Happy New Year, huh? Hope 2025 is a super good year for you. See you later.